Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hello and welcome to my channel! Today is a Sunday, so I just want to make a painting tutorial for you. And I decided to paint another landscape painting because I'm just addicted to landscape paintings recently. And yeah, I'm just so excited to do this, guys, because I have all the time to do a painting today. I'm just making the most out of it. So here are the colors that we'll be using for today's painting tutorial. Later, I will explain why the background is already blue-green. So here are the colors. We have titanium white, sap green, orange, lemon yellow or mid yellow, burnt sienna, yellow ochre. Now I have to tell you why my background or the background color of my canvas is blue or blue-green or turquoise color. It's simply because it's an old painting of mine that I just want to get rid of. I don't want to see that painting ever again. So I'm painting over this canvas and I'll be using that. I'll be recycling that because we don't want to throw away our old canvases. I'll be using this for another painting tutorial. So yeah, let's begin now, guys. I'll be sketching first the subject, and again, please don't you don't have to have canvas with the turquoise background. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to copy the background color, because definitely I'll be painting over this color, so it has nothing to do with the subject today. Actually, I should have used darker colors if I really want to proceed with the tutorial right away, but I decided first to cover the painting, the old painting, and let's do the background now. All right, enough talking about that old painting that I don't want to see anymore. So let's begin sketching first the subject, and for the sketch I'll be using I think I'll be using dark green to sketch, right? So I'll be using my sap green and black. Again, it doesn't matter what color you use for the sketching process, but I think this will also help me to already proceed with the painting right away, not just with the sketch. So I'm using dark green, and again the sketch will be okay, like that. So we'll be doing again another like pathway painting. All right, like that. Okay. And then there will be some trees like that. Okay, I'll be using black. So while I told you guys that we'll be sketching, I might as well proceed with the painting. So I'm using black to underpaint or to create the shadows of the foliage of the trees. This is the underpainting. I told you guys that we'll be painting over the blue color. You can actually simply paint it black, like super neatly, but I want to create some patterns even though it's not really obvious. By doing it this way, like this way, the movement of my brush, I'm creating some patterns that we probably won't achieve if we're just simply painting it super neatly like that. If you achieve that, then that's fine. I'm not forcing anyone to do the same technique as I do. I'm just showing you how I do it. Then if it works for you, then you may apply it to your own painting. But no one is compelled to do a certain way. All right, so yep, you can still see the brush strokes that I did, right? Because I really want to achieve some brush strokes that resemble pine trees. can definitely do away with this type of style. But again, I want to show you how I do it. I would have done the same thing even if it's not on video, guys, to be honest. All right, like that. Okay, now let's proceed to this side, or maybe this soil part or the land part. I'm just gonna get my brown, burnt sienna, and then black. Just mix them. Again, we're just trying to underpaint. Okay, you can also get some greeny color to already create that soil effect, where you can see green and black and browny things on the soil. Also some grasses. Okay, like that. We will do some light play today, which I'm just so excited about because I love playing with the light with my paintings. Okay. All right, and then we'll be doing some trees right here. So for that, we'll be doing the same thing the way we did this one. So I'm just trying to, okay, I'm gonna use more black. I think I've already told you guys that when it comes to sketching and when it comes to underpainting, I'm very rough with my paintings, and I'm careful when it comes to detailing. I think most of us are like that anyway, but when it comes to underpainting, I've seen people who are really taking their time doing the underpainting and sketching. I'm not like that because I really want to do it quickly. I want results more than anything else. I'm like that. Okay. I'm going to create more pine tree suggestions in the background forest. Okay. All right, and now I'm gonna underpaint the road or the pathway, and I'll be using some brown. So wash your brush out, make sure that it's clean. Get your burnt sienna, maybe a white, black, to create this dark browny color. All right, perfect. So this will be the color that we'll be using for the road. We'll also be doing some perspective. So always be mindful of the perspective when it comes to landscapes. If you want your paintings to look more realistic and 3D, then we should always follow the rules of perspective. Not strictly though, but the basics of perspective should be followed. Why did I say not strictly? Because somehow you would want to change something that may be far from reality, but it should not be too far that it becomes improbable to exist. I hope that makes sense, guys. Okay, I'm gonna add more light colors. I'm just adding white. Okay, and of course I'm super tempted to use my fingers in blending and applying colors. I cannot speak properly today. Either I'm speaking too fast, you can slow down the video if you want, but either I'm speaking too fast or I have a problem pronouncing the words. Please forgive me if I do sometimes. Alright, like this. I'm just so excited to finish this. Okay, we'll be doing some perspective. That's why you can see it right here that I'm doing some curve. Okay. All right, and then let's leave it like that for now. Let's proceed to doing some more detailing in the background. Okay, so I'm gonna get my yellow. So get your yellow, and I'm gonna mix it with tiny bit of brown, but more yellow and white and maybe black, just to mute the color down. And I'm gonna use this to, I'm gonna add green, all right? I don't want it to be super yellow. I'm gonna add green, brown, maybe yellow ochre as well. Okay, okay, more black. All right, so maybe this color. And I'm just gonna use this to create some suggestion of grasses right here along the road. Remember to use your brush as well to create the texture that you want. Don't just scrub the brush like that. Like, have some intention when it comes to doing the brush strokes. If you're creating grasses, use the brush to actually create the grass as if, you know, you're planting the grass. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna add more yellow as if you're planting it. Okay, you yourself are planting the grass. Again, this is just the second layer of the underpainting. We'll be detailing this a little bit later. And for now, let's just identify where the highlights are gonna go. I'm gonna add a little bit of orange because I kind of like the natural look of the orange color on the grass, because sometimes grasses turn brown. We all know that. So we're gonna apply some orangey patterns on the soil to create that natural look that we're trying to achieve here. I'm gonna do my best to really make this painting as natural as possible, so I really don't mind the time. I don't mind how many hours I'll be spending here. I hope I will be spending 2 hours for this painting, but if I do, I don't mind. All right, for now, let's just allow that to dry because that's the second layer of our painting. It's not the actual thing, the actual color that we want for our painting. All right, and now I'm gonna create some details on the trees. Actually, this is already a good abstract, like a Vincent van Gogh painting, don't you think so? So I'm gonna add some more details on the trees in the background. So I'll be using some light yellow green. So I'm gonna add more yellow to the existing greeny color. I'm gonna add a bit of orange to tone the color down, like this color. And then I'm gonna use this color to create some pine tree brush stroke, pine tree like brush strokes or highlights on the pine tree. So I'm just using the tip of my brush to create some details that are highlighted on the trees. Okay, here as well. Okay, and here. I will definitely use my palette knife later to create more natural look. So I'm gonna, again, look at how I'm just using the tip of my brush to create those patterns that are suggestive of grasses in the background or on the foreground. Like this. Just be gentle with the way you use the brush. Okay, I'm gonna get some green. So I'm gonna get my sap green and mix it with the existing yellow, orange, or yellow green color that we have here. And I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna add black to mute it, but it's quite lighter than the color of the background. So I'm just gonna use this green to create more layers of foliage in the background. I think someone just commented on one of my videos. Let me check. All right. Yeah. Someone just commented on my YouTube video. That, and then, all right, now I'm gonna create some tree trunks. So I'll be using a little bit of brown with a little bit of black that I already have here. I'm gonna add a little bit of white to make it more pastel-y color, and I'm gonna use this color to create some tree trunks because we don't have tree trunks right here, as you can see. I'm making this a little lighter. Alright, like that. Maybe here as well. Going to extend it further down here. All right, like that. Okay, I'm just gonna allow the paint to dry before we go back to doing the foliage. I'm gonna change the color of the sky because it's still blue, as you can see here. It does not fit the painting. I'm gonna get my white. I'm gonna add, all right, we don't have blue here. I forgot to mention that we'll be using tiny bit of blue today. Right, so I'll be using tiny bit of blue. I don't have blue. Okay, so let's just use the white. Okay, I'm gonna use tiny bit of black to gray the white. We don't want pure white at the moment. So using some light gray, I'm gonna use this to color the background. We don't want the super turquoisey color for the sky. We don't want that. That's not what we want for this painting. Again, if your canvas is already white, then you don't have any problem with redoing the sky because that's actually the color that we want for the sky. Me, as I told you, I painted my canvas with some turquoisey color because I was painting over an old painting that I don't like. That's why it's color blue. Like that. And I'll be using the same color to get into these small spaces that we have right here in between the foliage. Again, guys, don't make it too hard on yourselves because the reason why I had some blue background was because I just painted over an old painting. So you don't have to do this step actually if you already have a white canvas or a gray canvas. Okay, like that. I'm gonna allow that first to dry, and then I'm gonna go back to doing some of the foliage in the background just to correct some areas. I'm going to get my yellow ochre. Okay, I'm gonna add white to my yellow ochre. Right, like that. Okay, let's go back to some dark greens. Right, and then I'm gonna lighten the green by adding white to that. Maybe a little bit of brown, just to tone the color down. I mean, let's add more foliage that are overlapping the tree trunks. To make it more full and to make it more realistic. Okay, I'm gonna get my yellow and I'm gonna add little hints of yellow here and there just to add more light play. Alright, and down here as well, we should add a little bit of light play. The light is coming from the left side. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow orange. Also here. Okay, again, orange. Okay, I think I need more black, so I'll be getting more black. Alright. So using my black color, I'm just gonna add more foliage in the background. Okay, using black again, I'm just gonna add more depth and fullness to the foliage in the background, because when you add this dark color, it gives it more depth. Like that. And here as well. Alright, now I'm gonna get my green. I'm gonna add brown to my green to make it more muted. Tiny bit of white. Alright, like this. And I'm gonna try to make some more foliage in the background as well on the left side. Right. I'm gonna get my yellow ochre. I'm gonna add some hints of yellow ochre on the foliage. This will also serve as some light play. Okay, I'm gonna add some hints of yellow green in the background. Right, like that. Okay, for now, let's just allow the paint to dry. Let's move on to doing some details on the road or the pathway. Okay, so we're starting to get there. It's not yet fully detailed. It's not the painting that I really want, but we're heading towards that direction. So I'm gonna lighten the road. I'm gonna get my white and mix that with my burnt sienna. Tiny bit of orange, like this color, and I'm just gonna highlight the road. Okay. Like that. I'm gonna get my brown again, and I'm gonna use that right here. Like that. Okay, like that. Apply it quite diagonally so that you create some light play. Like that. I'm gonna get my black. Get your black and gently outline the road. Just gently. Like that. Apply some more depth on the soil or on the grasses part. Okay. I'm gonna use some yellow, so get your yellow, tiny bit of orange and white. This will serve as the highlight of the grass. So just use the tip of the paintbrush . Okay, get some green as well. Some highlights. Okay, and here. Okay, and then on the trees as well. Right here, just make some light browny color to suggest some light. Let me check. Okay. All right. Now that I think this is dry already, I'm gonna make some suggestion of light source. So I'm gonna use my yellow. Get your yellow, and then apply it directly. Get your yellow and just create some circle like that. Okay, and then let it dry. And I'm gonna dry brush using the yellow right here. Gonna highlight some parts of the trees and the grasses by using the dry brushing technique. All right, like this. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna use my white, mix it with yellow and tiny bit of orange. And in the same manner, I'm just gonna do and make some circle on the circle that we already did. And apply that color in between the foliage coming from the left side to create some light. Also here. Don't forget the road. It should be highlighted. I'm gonna get pure white and I'm gonna draw a line right there to really highlight the road. All right, like that. Okay, I'm gonna get my black just to add more depth Okay, I'm gonna get some gray. And I'm gonna highlight some tree trunks. And also the road. Make it quite gray so that it looks more natural. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna get some orange. Okay, more depth right here. All right. Okay, I think I want to use my what they call this? Fan brush. So I'm just gonna get my fan brush, guys. Excuse for a while. All right, I'm back. I just got my bucket of brushes. So I'm just gonna use my paintbrush to create more foliage, all right? Because I'm obsessed. So I'm gonna use my fan brush without washing it, dabbing it onto my green, sap green. I'm gonna add orange to mute the greenness of the color. I'm gonna add yellow. Let's use this to create more foliage. Okay, now I'm dabbing onto just pure green. Just pure green. Right. I'm gonna use this to also apply on the grassy part of the painting. Okay, now I'm dabbing onto my black. Let's create more depth. A little bit of shadow. All right, now I'm gonna dab onto my yellow. I'm gonna add a little bit of orange to make it like this color. And again, I'm just gonna go back to the grassy part. Try to create some grasses. Like that. Making it more natural. Okay, I'm gonna get my black. Like that. Okay, I love this one, guys. I absolutely love this one. You know, this fan brush really made a huge difference, I think, in making the texture. Any fan brush will do. I don't even know the brand of this fan brush. It got covered already, but it says here it's made from Sri Lanka. All right, I'm gonna dab onto my white, okay? Just a little bit of hint of that color in between the foliage, especially here on the more foresty side of the painting. Like that. And using a cleaner brush, I'm gonna go and lighten a little bit the sky. It's too dark. I'm just gonna wait for that to dry because I don't want to smear any paint when we do some light play. So remember when we did the sun, I'm just gonna apply a little bit of white right on the middle. All right, now using my yellowy orangey color, I'm just gonna add white, and I'm gonna use this to create some sun rays. All right, remember we're gonna dry brush, but add a little bit of water. I don't know if that makes sense, but add a little bit of water just to make sure that the paintbrush is damp, it's not super dry. And I'm just gonna use that to create some sunlight or sun rays. All right, like that. Okay, I'm gonna dab on again to my yellowy orange color. I want to use that to highlight even more some of the foliage. I'm gonna use some yellow. Okay, using white, I'm just gonna highlight again the most distant part of the road. Right, like that. Let me check. All right, it's nice. I'm gonna add some black and brown mixture, but more dominantly black. So I'm just gonna add more depth. I just love introducing some depth to my paintings. Okay, now to add more light play. Okay. This is actually nice. Okay, I'm gonna use my yellow ochre, just pure yellow ochre, and I'm gonna glaze right on some grasses like that. All right. Then using black, more depth. And using gray, let's readjust or redefine the tree trunks in the forest because they're not really visible, but they should be there. Like that. Remember that the leaves should be overlapping the tree trunks so that they don't look weird, you know. Trees, the forest should look random. So, yeah. It should look random. It should not look as if there are posts made by man. They should be made by nature. Really spontaneous. Right, like that. Using browns. Like that. Like that. I kind of like the effect of like natural look. I'm gonna add more shadowy part. Okay, I want to create some tall grasses, so I'm gonna use my fan brush for that. I'll be using the same yellow ochre color, and I'm just gonna create a little bit of tall grasses. To make it more natural, like really rustic looking. I'm gonna dab onto my black to create more depth. Oops, that's too dark, I think. Of course, we don't want it to be too grassy because therefore it will not look like it's passable. This is still a road, a passable road, so don't make it too like rustic or too foresty. All right. Oh, this is nice. This is nice, guys. So I'm gonna make some highlighted grasses. I'm gonna use my yellow, and in the same manner, I'm just gonna go like this, creating some grass-like brush strokes. I'm adding some browns so that it really looks natural, more natural, and blacks. And your grasses should go in different directions. They should not go in just one direction. Like that. All right. Whoa, I think this is so good. All right. I'm gonna go back to the sun. I just added more white and patches of pure white on the sky. Just like that. Okay. All right. Oh my God, this is so good. So I'm gonna sign this now because this looks good to me already. So I'm gonna sign right now. Okay. I'm gonna use my white since I do have a lot of white. I'm gonna sign right here because this is already busy. So I'm gonna sign right here. Okay, we're done. We're done, guys. This is so pretty. Super pretty. Oh my God. Alright, so if you like this video, let me know in the comment section below. If you're painting along with me, let me know as well. If you painted along with me, please tag me on your Facebook posts or social media or other social media posts. Let me know that you painted along with me and I want to see the versions of your paintings following my tutorials. See you in my next video, guys. Love you.